Up next is my brother Carter Winter. Malka Equities and Michael Orsini only introduced me to one person when I was in New York City after raising $13 billion in partnership with them to buy Paramount. And that one person, Carter Winter, was a young filmmaker, which turns out his mother was actually here in my hometown from Ocala, Florida, where she went to Osceola Middle School, same school as my mother, and Johnnie Mae, the mother of Timothy Allen, aka Johnnie Mae, one of my mom's best friends from childhood. Isn't that something else? The group that I partner with to raise all that money to buy that Hollywood legacy movie studio connected me with someone who literally was basically from where I grew up by way of his mother. If that's not God, I don't know what is. You guys can question all you want. I've stopped questioning everything and I'm in free flow, walking all the way to an ending that hopefully Eric Gardner's gonna finally report on. Wake up, Eric, into the matrix that we're all living in.
I got full
Now
bar.
I can hear you. Now I can hear you.
Okay.
I'm at home on Wi-Fi. My camera's on.
There
Do
you
you want
are.
me to like rejoin the meeting and see if that works?
Oh,
Let me leave.
I see you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. It's just a little like broken up.
I get it. We'll manage. We'll get through it.
Oh, okay. Now you sound clear. Your video's a little spot. Maybe you should turn your camera. I don't know. Whatever. Here we are.
I'll turn my camera off. How's that?
Now I can hear you clear. Yeah.
Okay. So Carter, and this is perfect because it says the big picture. You see, the big picture is not just me. It was kind of a group of rebels and bulls
Mm-hmm.
and literally people fighting, quite frankly, not only for justice, but other things. So my partner in all of this, who's helping me convert to being Catholic, Paul Cuscieri, is who introduced me to his partner, Lee Kaplan.
Oh,
Paul,
wow. Yeah.
Paul and Lee control the trademark on an IP called Pulp Fiction. When I looked that up and I saw that that IP was owned by Paramount last spring, I then went off and put an ownership group together to be able to make Pulp Fiction. But I had to live quite the matrix journey that took me to the individuals that you met. Those same individuals that you met, I was introduced to by Lee Kaplan.
And they introduced me to Lee Kaplan.
There you go. And
Yeah.
then those individuals introduced you to me. So
Correct. Yeah.
you're going to write and direct an episode of Pulp Fiction. So am I. And we are making that IP produced and financed by my financial partners as an exclusive drive-in theater experience, which is why I had to buy the Ocala Drive-In Theater with my various financial partner groups. And I created by taking Tommy Bina believing in me and giving me the legacy of the Canyon Country store to build a hotel ownership group called In Love of Pulp Fiction. That's the name of the actual company that's got to be registered. And that group owns land all across the world, including 600 acres in Jamaica, where we are building entertainment, arts, music, culture, all of the above, movies above all else, themed resort human experiences where every single one of those places is going to have its own kind of human experience. So when one consumer experiences at one park, they're going to go to all the others, just like Disney. And Pulp Fiction itself, along with all the other IP that everybody brought, is going to be homed at the Lucelle streaming platform named after my grandmother and Sydney, who did all this with me. And that streaming platform is actually set up like a nonprofit, as is the studio that frees all of the art moving forward. Because there is an ad agency called Dream It, Create It, Live It that isn't only going to produce all the ads for that streaming platform, all of our hotels, but quite frankly, every commercial in the world, because it's owned by a bunch of high-level artists, as well as Joey Stanton, who used to be an agent representing all of those people. So
Okay.
we're done, bro. And the first thing I'm going to direct in TV is with you. We'll keep the details of that under wraps and reveal that at a later time. But this Zoom we're on is part of a 24/7 live showcase stream of Big Picture World Group Project Rise partners, amongst other individuals and artists, and the 14-month journey that we all went on through a higher power than ourselves plan to connect all this together. And it started really the next phase of this when you and I met and when we left those offices that day. And then that
Hmm.
was my final test to see if I could get to this place in time. So, Carter, that's the intro. I couldn't give you all these details the whole time. But yeah, man, Lee and I had a dinner at the Biltmore that was 3.5 hours last summer. And that's why I went off and did all this because he's a guy in publishing, he's someone in education. He built Penske Media Group. He's a God oracle in many businesses, and he was an incredible guide to me with Paul to get to this point. And I didn't know I was going to become a Catholic in the process, but I am, because you see, that's the one faith where sin is forgiven. You sit in a confessional booth, you confess your sin.
Uh-huh.
So that's what I'm
Right.
doing moving forward forever. So
No.
Carter, let everybody know about you, your film that we met and connected on to get made. And oddly enough, right after this, I have a Zoom with the manager of Young Dirty Bastard. So it's all Wu
Hmm.
Tang Clan. They're family to me, and Wu Tang's forever. So consider that your circle as well. I know you've already connected on your end, but what are
Yeah.
you working on? What are you making? Give some background about your past too, because like me, you've battled through
Yeah.
things and became an amazing filmmaker.
Thank you, Will. And unfortunately, I only have about 7 minutes. So,
Okay.
um, yeah, we met through interesting circumstances. I'm the writer, director, and one of the producers on a project called Swerving. Swerving is a deep dive into um the lifestyle of a person who becomes a drug runner. The difference between a drug runner per se and a drug dealer is that a runner works for a professional outfit. It's a service that is provided. It's a number you can dial to have the stuff show up for you at your doorstep. And that's a little different than person to person. And in New York City, the movie's deeply about New York and the different levels of society and the different little micro worlds and micro cultures and microclimates here. And the drug runner, Turner, he sees it from the cockpit of being a messenger running around the city delivering things. And he starts out as a weed dealer. The movie takes place before the pandemic. And then he changes lanes and ends up taking over a cocaine courier's phone through a series of events. And it's been a pretty amazing ride, like writing the movie over years. Kind of the context of the work of being a screenwriter and changing things on the fly for actors or rappers, or just like the development process has been really great. And meeting other producers like yourself, meeting Lee, had some
Former producer, but keep going.
former producer, but other film people in the business, I'll say.
There
Lee's
you go.
been a really interesting mentor and help, and got me eyes on sales agents and how to do it all, and where to go with my career. I also see him as a mentor figure. Yeah, but the movie's been great. We have cast some iconic rappers from maybe the Wu-Tang Clan and had some great conversations with them. So that's been fun, and we're looking at some really incredible talent. And I've been talking to you about that. And part of the process of this that I've been really enjoying is getting it in the hands of some great actors. And it's a notable Oscar-winning actor loved the screenplay. Like, we might not be able to work with them, but knowing that those people have read so many movies in their career and kind of patting me on the back, like, you did a good job there, young man. That's part of the process that we have to also enjoy. We're not always going to land the big fat deal the way we want. But developing movies, if you have the right attitude towards it, is also a journey. It's not always about the results. I'm learning.
Yep.
So it's been fun for you, and it's been fun for me to have you a part of that journey because you definitely got involved and got me pitching it at other actors, and that was part of the fun part of the ride. When we're done, we'll say, "Guess who read it and passed?" And that's part of the story of how movies are get made. Oh, like that legend read it. Oh, he passed. It would have been funny if he did it instead of this guy. And you've been part of that, Will. That was fun, and opened a lot of doors for me. So I'm really grateful too. And now I got my hands on this other cool project, an intellectual property,
Yeah.
a pen
Talk
and
about that a little bit because you have
yeah,
permission to do so.
yeah. I growing up, I guess before I hit puberty, I was a bit of a nerd and I loved reading books. I definitely read The Lord of the Rings and I read The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan, which is a TV show now. I read all those books. God, those were like 1,000 pages a pop. I mean, but I was really into this miniature battle game called Warzone, which is also a pen and paper steampunk diesel punk RPG. And I just kept all my source books and even the miniatures. They're still in a box. And I started to get like an itch to like redo it. And I reached out to Fred at Heroic Signatures, and he was just like, "All right, well, we're too busy. So if you want to do it, you can do it." And they gave me the rights to shop it. So I wrote a pilot and I and put together a pitch and shared it with you. And when you were the first person I told it about, and you were so excited, and I was like, "Really? Like you know about this too?"
I
And
geeked out, man.
yeah,
I only liked the movie that was done, which was not, it's subjective, but that's
yeah. I
why
mean,
I
it's
love it.
it's it's if you didn't know the original material, it's still
Yeah.
a cool movie.
Yeah.
They tried. I think that the problem is it's too much to cram into a movie.
That's why you're doing a TV series.
Yeah, and I've been I had a blast writing the pilot. I'm working with one of the original RPG lore masters, talking to the brand, but they see that, it's a world that can be as big and sprawling, but also like tight in its story as Game of Thrones or Dune Prophecy or Blade Runner. It's like it's got all those or like some of the better uh Star Wars serials, like Mandalorian. It has that sprawling epic quality. And yet it's been fun kind of trying to sculpt it down. And you and I have already started talking about some actors who could totally rock it. But
I mean,
it's
I'm gonna name who I pitched you because they're all
yeah,
in the
got
circle. I've talked about John Bernthal, Frank Grillo, Michelle Yeoh, Wang Xiaoming, people directly connected to me, and Lee Kaplan.
Ethan Hawke.
Yep, Ethan Hawke, who
Um,
inspired me greatly, got to work with.
yeah. Actually, I'll look at Elliot Page was discussed. I like so Daniel Bruhl and Diane Kruger would be
You know what
cool.
would be interesting too? Daniel Radcliffe, man, in a role like this. That'd be
There's
great.
stuff. Yeah, he could maybe be Edward S. Murdoch or Sean Gallagher
Yep.
from the Imperial Corporation. We talked about maybe Chris Pratt. I like the idea of Ron Perlman playing the Cardinal.
And coming back for hell yeah, bro.
And I like the idea of Michael Madsen as Nick
Oh,
Michaels, like the
oh,
salty sort of kind of detective slash secret agent.
I like that.
Um, Brad Dourif. What about David Dasmalkian? You know that character
That's an
actor?
old friend of mine. It was between him and Zach Levi, man, for Office Uprising. I love
David
Zach, but
Dasmalkian.
yeah, I met him on the movie Sushi Girl that my friend Kern directed. David's amazing, man. I watched his whole rise. It was incredible.
There's this like heretic
Das
character.
Malshin, David Das Malshin.
Sorry, Dasmalkian. Thank you
Yeah,
for
there you go.
correcting that. I never, his name doesn't get said a lot, but we all
Hey
know his
man,
face.
it's like mine. People say it Clevinger. Everyone's gonna say Clevenger from now on. But
Yeah.
yeah,
But he I think would be great for the role of Billy. And Billy's like this like crazy heretic. And I actually kill Billy and kill Billy.
Kill
I
Bill.
kill Billy in the first episode, but because he's works with like the dark technology, like they chop off his head, and later I'll have in the story that somebody like gets the head back and like reanimates him on a different body.
That's incredible.
Uh, yeah, it's such a cool world and universe. I've been diving into it. It's a lot of material, but I'm looking forward, man. And thanks for having me on. And let's rock. I'll see you at Tribeca. All right.
Carter, man. Hey, wait here, hang on. I'm
Yeah.
gonna come to Tribeca, and we're gonna cheers Coca-Cola and vitamin water.
Word. That sounds like a plan.
We're gonna share a Coke together. Appreciate you. Coca-Cola, not the other kind.
That's what's up. Well, thank you, and thank you
Thank
to the
you.
big picture. All right.
Always. Thanks, Carter. Blessings, bro. Have a great day. Bye.
You too. Happy Memorial